Nicole, and I'm from The Bookworm, and I'm here with my friend McKenna.
Hi.
We're here to talk to you about awesome chapter books for 4th and 5th graders, so get ready.
Here we go. All right, so Nicole, I really want to talk to you about this book right here.
Oh, yeah.
So this is Lemons by Melissa Savage, and this is the story of a young girl who goes to live with her grandparents for the summer. And her grandparents live in this little town where there's not much to do, and she is bored. She just wants to hang out with her friends, she wants to watch her TV shows, and she can't do any of that in this town. But one day, she runs into this other little boy who owns a Bigfoot detection agency. And his whole goal in life is to prove, without a shadow of a doubt, that Bigfoot is real.
Do you believe?
I think he's real.
Okay.
Right?
Good. All right.
I think we don't know that he's not.
We don't know. That's why he's a detective.
Exactly. So he has to figure this out. And so he hires her, basically, to help him prove that Bigfoot is real. And they go on this big adventure all summer.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, it's awesome. The really cool thing about this author is that she has a couple other books about other really cool things that we're not really sure if they're real or not. Like, she has one called Nessie Quest about the Loch Ness Monster.
Oh, that sounds fun.
And she has one about Truth About Martians, about aliens.
Oh, yeah, I read that one. It's so good.
Isn't it great?
Yes.
So this is definitely a really fun adventure story for everyone looking for just something fun to read. And you might or might not believe in Bigfoot at the end.
Aha.
You're going to have to read it and find out.
Okay. All right. Well, speaking of adventures, Monsterous Devices comes in English and in Spanish, and it is an ultimate adventure. There's a really great relationship between a grandpa and the main character, and it takes place partly in Old World Europe, and it's kind of like an Indiana Jones sort of adventure. Bartis at the Bookworm, he really loves this book, and it's a high-level read, so if you are a really good reader and you love kind of learning about new things, but also making sure like the pages are turning fast, then I would definitely suggest Monstrous Devices, English or Spanish.
Awesome. And I think there's a second one out now too, right?
It just came out.
Okay.
I gotta check with Bartis to see if he read it yet.
Yeah. But I think if you like the first one, it's good to know that there's another one you can read right now.
Totally.
Right?
Totally.
Because I always hate finishing a book and then not being able to keep reading, right?
Same with this one, right?
Same with this one. So this one also has 2 in the series. This is by our friend Melanie Crowder. She's
nice.
Awesome. She has so many books. It's amazing. This one is called Lighthouse Between Worlds, and it's about a young boy whose father is a lighthouse keeper. And so this boy walks with his father to the lighthouse every day. And one day, he goes up to the top of the lighthouse, and he realizes that the reason his father is so intent on making sure that the lighthouse is safe is because the lighthouse is actually a portal between 2 worlds. So the little boy goes to this portal, and he realizes that not only is that world in trouble that needs his help, but his world is also in trouble if this world doesn't get saved.
Okay.
And so he has to go on this grand adventure with some other people from this other world that he had no idea existed and save both worlds.
And I bet it's a cliffhanger at the end.
Oh, a total cliffhanger. I had to run back to the store and grab the second one. It's so good.
Nice.
Definitely not one to miss.
All right. Well, speaking of kind of magical and interesting places, there's my bookmark. This is a little bit of a scary story, but it's also got magic. So if you like Jumbies, if you like small spaces,
Love small spaces.
You might like this book. But you got to kind of imagine yourself if you were trapped inside of a scary story.
Ooh.
Like if you kind of have a scary story you knew about, and then you got trapped in it, and then you had to keep telling more scary stories in order to get out. Like, it's kind of like a mystery within a mystery.
Yeah.
So, love this book if you want to keep your brain kind of wondering what's going to happen. There is a witch. There are some pretty funny moments also, and there are a lot of books. This book is called Night Books. And so, I can't tell you too much, because if I do, then I scare you if you don't like scary books. But if you do like scary books, I'll give you one clue. This is has a Hansel and Gretel sort of storyline. And if you enjoy fairy tales and magical things, I think you'll really enjoy Night Books.
Well, I'm not a huge fan of scary books, so I like some more realistic type stuff.
Yeah.
But above all, I really love animals.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And so this was an awesome book for me to read.
I love this book,
This was
too.
Song for a Whale by Lynn Kelly, and it's about a young girl who's deaf, right? But she's in a school for hearing kids, and she doesn't really feel like she fits in there. And one day in science class, she learns about a whale who sings at too high of a frequency for other whales to hear him, so he doesn't have a family, because no whale can communicate with him.
Mm-hmm.
And so she ends up going on a quest with her grandmother all the way to Alaska to work with a team of scientists to transmit this song at a level that other whales can hear. And it's a great story. It's so great. The main character is super smart. She fixes radios. She's just awesome. And if you like animals, if you loved Wonder, if you liked insignificant events in the life of a cactus, the Dusty Bowling book from last year, you'll love this one for sure.
Oh, yeah, I loved that book. And that book reminds me actually a lot of Fish in a Tree. Fish in a Tree comes in English and in Spanish. And if you like Wonder and Insignificant Events, maybe you already read Song for a Whale, or if you just like those books that like have so much heart, then I would definitely try Fish in a Tree. It is about a girl who is dyslexic, and some people around her think that she's dumb. They think that she can't learn, and in fact, she is a total genius, but she has to learn about how to kind of come to that on her own. So like Wonder, where Augie had to really like kind of understand his situation and accept how he was different and how he was even better than so many people. There's a lot of themes like that in this book. And I felt like that in Song for a Whale too.
Yeah.
Just special talents that come out when you are different.
Exactly.
So if you like books like that, try Fish in a Tree, English and in Spanish for this one.
And speaking of super, super smart girls.
Oh, yes. Love this.
Charlie Thorne and the Last Equation. So, some of you might know Stuart Gibbs from his Spy School series or the Fun Jungle series, but this is a new series he's starting right now about a girl named Charlie Thorne. She's 12. But the really cool thing about Charlie is that she has already been recruited by the CIA. Because she is so smart, she has the same IQ as Einstein, which is crazy. He's one of the smartest people ever, right? And so she's recruited by the CIA to find Einstein's last equation and solve it before the bad guys get to it. So there's some math, there's adventure, there's helicopters.
There's also really good ski action.
There is some really fun ski action.
Like Charlie doesn't have to go to school anymore because she's so smart, and so she skis a lot. Go figure. She doesn't ski in Vail like in Spy Ski School where some of it took place in Vail. She skis in Aspen, but she's a ripping skier, and I love the book for that too.
Yeah, that was a great part of this book for sure.
I think it's going to be the first in series.
It is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, if you like books that kind of go on an adventure, but you're not really sure if you want to bite off a whole series, then you might try Clean Getaway. I know you read this book and really loved it.
So
we loved
good.
it in our house too. This is about a kid who has to go on an unplanned summer vacation with his grandma, and he's not looking forward to it. I guess this is a recurring theme, right?
Kind of is.
We got to get rid of the parents somehow,
right?
So in this book, we get rid of the parents by going on an adventure with grandma.
Perfect.
And this is like his grandma is like a little old grandma, but she is not sweet. She is up to no good, and she drives a gigantic RV, a huge RV around the country with her grandson in it. And he's trying to figure out what she's up to exactly. They're following the guidebook that is called the Green Book, and that's what he's holding on the cover. The Green Book is a thing that African Americans used during the Civil Rights Movement to go on vacation and know where it was safe for them to travel and where they would be welcome. But along the way, the main character finds out some of the reasons that his grandma is up to no good is because she has a very storied past. She's gotten even in trouble a little bit. And so his dad's all worried about him because he's with his grandma. He's not sure why his dad and his grandma have a little thing. It's kind of, there's secrets within secrets in this book, but it's a realistic, real-life adventure. Loved it.
Great. Yeah. So another realistic, real-life adventure that I loved Snow Treasure.
Oh, yeah.
And I know you love this book, too. So this is historical fiction. And this is about a group of kids who, in Norway, during World War II, who have to smuggle treasure away from the Nazis underneath their sleds. I know. And they were in terrible danger. But these are all just young kids who were going to fight the Nazis in their own way, right? They didn't use weapons, they used sleds. And this is an awesome, awesome book. If you like that real-life adventure, if you like history, if you're interested in World War II, this is a really, really great one.
And did you read that book, The Trail? It sold really well
at
book fairs. Kids loved it last year.
Great adventure.
So that would be good for if you liked The Trail, but you want something historical.
Yeah.
This is another option if you read The Trail and you loved it. This is called Bearstone. And it is about a boy who is Native American. He's actually Ute. And he goes to work for a rancher in Colorado on the ranch. And it's hard work. But when he's out in the fields and on the plains, he discovers a few things. And one of the things he discovers is a carved turquoise bear that is an ancient artifact from his people, from the Utes.
Wow.
So you learn about Native Americans in Colorado in this book, but the bulk of the story is about the main character and the man he works for, and they're out in nature a lot, and some of the times it's a little dangerous. And in the one part of the story, they go up into the mountains and they actually run into a grizzly bear.
Uh-oh.
And so there is a lot of connection between that very special ancient artifact that he found and his real life survival as he encounters one of the last grizzly bears in Colorado. So I would definitely suggest this book if you like The Trail, or Hatchet, or other books about survival and about nature. If you're into Boy Scouts or hunting or wildlife, I would definitely suggest Bearstone by Will Hobbs. Will is from Colorado.
Great.
Cool, huh?
Yeah, awesome. But, Nicole, some of us don't go on grand adventures that we have to survive, right?
Nope.
Some of us just have to survive our day-to-day life, right? We just have to keep going through it no matter the trouble that we have.
Sometimes really bad stuff happens.
Really bad stuff can happen to normal people, too, right? It doesn't always have to be a grizzly bear.
Nope.
But sometimes our problems feel like the size of a grizzly bear. And that's the case in Raina Telgemeier's new book. Now, you might know Raina Telgemeier from a bunch of her other books like Smile, Sisters, Drama, the Babysitter's Club graphic novel series.
Oh, yeah.
But this is her new one. This is called Guts. It's available in English and Spanish. You see, I have the Spanish version here. And this is a story that's based on Raina's real life. And when she was a kid, she realized that she was dealing with a big, big, scary problem, which is her anxiety. And it made her stomach upset a lot of the time. It made her not want to go to school. It made her not want to hang out with her friends. And it was really hard for her.
Yes,
and now she's a grown-up. But this is her looking back at her younger years. And this is really cool because this, like all of Raina's books, is a really fun, illustrated graphic novel.
So cool.
Right? And so this is great for, I think, anyone who loved Raina's other books, anyone who wants a realistic graphic novel, because those are a little hard to come by sometimes. This is awesome. I loved this book.
And I love how Raina deals with real-life problems, like whether it's bullying or whether it's family relationships or even being really worried and having anxiety about day-to-day life.
Yeah.
It's real, and this is a great way to understand it and help deal with it.
It is. It's wonderful for that, for sure.
Yeah. Well, we have shared with you a few of our favorite books for 4th and 5th graders, and we hope you'll either stop by or visit our website to find out more recommendations. Thanks so much for listening, and have an awesome day with a book.
Bye.
See ya!